Jake, I'm gonna make you say it. What is the thing you have to tell our audience, Jake? What is it?
I was wrong about F-Zero!
That is music to my ears. That's right. So apparently fzero99 has converted Jake into a fan of the series. It is doing the impossible, seemingly. It is bringing a lot of people on board into the F-Zero fandom, and we are here to discuss it all. I, as a longtime fan, Jake, as a new fan. So what is it about this game, Jake, that made you realize, you know, maybe F-Zero is a good thing after all?
Yeah, so listen, I feel like I'm one of these young bucks that the most relevant thing about F-Zero to me is the Falcon Punch, is the knee, is the captain himself from Smash Brothers. I don't really have any experience with it otherwise, except for every now and then, like a virtual console or an NSO game shows up. I play it for 5 minutes, I go, I don't want to do this. So the F-Zero rumors are circling before the Direct. I'm wagging my finger, I'm whining, I'm sending out tweets about nobody cares about this, whatever. I like download the game with like a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, I'm not even gonna like this. Why am I putting it in my recently played Switch, you know? And then turns out I'm completely wrong. I understand. I feel like what this game accomplished is that it makes an F-Zero impression on somebody like me who's maybe not super familiar with the franchise that is wholly positive and does a great job of paving the way towards I can envision what I want from like a full-fledged F-Zero game in the future because of this. And it's because this package is, one, if you have NSO, it's free, and I think that goes a long way, so the barrier of entry really low, but it just feels high quality. The game mode matches the 99 style of play. It's the first 99 game where I feel like I actually know what's going on the whole time. You know, when I'm like sending attacks to people in Tetris 99, I don't know what's going on. I'm just like hoping I win, and then like, same thing with a lot of these 99 games. And I feel like here, you see all the players. They do a good job they give you a few of their names. Like they have the little tags coming out. There is an intensity at the beginning of the race when you're all in a pack together, and then you start kind of breaking off. You're like, why are those people ahead of me? Why are they behind me? You're doing little spins. You're bumping them around. It is like from the beginning of the race to the end of the race. Not only is it unique and fun, and the visual style is nice, big chunky pixels, but it does a great job of making me go, oh, this is not Mario Kart. This is something different. And even just from a base level of like Mario Kart is so much about the acceleration and gripping the track and turning around it and doing that kind of thing. This is about like propulsion. And you feel that in your car. You feel like your car is not on the ground and it's like flying forward the whole time, because it is. And that aspect of it is it's just cool. It's just like cool all around. I feel like they made a lot of really good decisions here. I've been having a lot of fun, and I feel like it's an online focused Nintendo game with a Nintendo property that makes sense online. It's a nice meeting there. Yeah, so I'm just overwhelmed positive about this thing. That was a lot of different stuff. Yeah,
you covered a lot of territory there.
Yeah.
I love hearing that, because I saw a lot of people actually, even during the reveal, during our live chat, seeing the Twitter reactions, people were like, dunking on it immediately. It's like, oh, it's a 16-bit F-Zero, like this is what you waited 20 years for. But then people started playing it, and that's when the conversation started to change. Like, no, this is actually a really solid game. I'm underselling it right now. This game has some extremely well thought out elements to it, if not every facet of it, and they all gel together in a way that not only works incredibly well for F-Zero, but as you said, the 99 games as well. Like, this is the first time where I feel like we've actually had a proper battle royale from Nintendo. Like, all the others have been like super passive, like Tetris, you're, kind of targeting random people. Mario 35, like you kill an enemy and it pops up somewhere else in someone else's game. You never really coexisted in the same space. Here you are. This feels like a proper evolution of at least the 16-bit era of F-Zero, and I am so freaking here for it. And I love to, yeah, it looks like an old game, but there is something satisfying about those visuals. Like, it's sharp, it's clean, it's clear, you know what's going on. Even when it's a complete cluster F of racers all around you, as you were saying, there's still a method to the madness. Like, you can tell what's going on, which is incredible. I think for me, the key thing is, and as we've already kind of touched on, I'm sure, in any number of ways, it's the game feel, it's the game essence, it's the risk versus reward of the gameplay. They nailed it here. Like, I am constantly flirting on the edge of disaster, the precipice of death, and that's what makes it feel so alive, because if you want to win, if you want to get first, you're probably gonna die in the process multiple times, and I freaking love that, because you need a boost to get ahead, but doing so causes you to be weak, meaning other people can take you out, and they're motivated to take you out because that gives them boost power, that grows their meter, and takes you out of the race entirely, and it just really makes it feel like every race is a thrill ride. Like, I'm always on the edge of my seat no matter what. And winning first, Jake, I have my first place win on stream, which I'm so happy I did that. Oh! Yes! Oh my god, we did it! Because it was a feeling of pure joy, of pure elation that I have not had from an experience in a while? Years, probably?
Yeah, it's funny. I think there's something you're describing too, where like I have never really generally been a huge fan of racing games, and I think at some point, like this happens in Mario Kart a lot, my brain kind of turns off, and I'm auto playing the game because I'm so familiar with how the mechanics work and the stages. Yep. And here, even something as little as like, man, I am chasing every little yellow ball. Like I see those little things and I'm like, yep. I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna,
it's
you
like
know, I think
dogs.
it matters. Yeah, exactly. And it's like stuff like that it like keeps you engaged the entire time. On it's funny, the criticism about the visuals I understand, because I think to a degree the stages in particular, that's where you feel it the most. But I actually hope that when we see an F-Zero game in the future, bright colors, yep. Big like a flashiness to it, because I really like that in this game. I will only ever use the Wild Goose vehicle. I am attached to it. I like the Wild Goose. That's the one I've chosen. And I get a color for it. I get a new color, and I find that exciting. I go, this is great. I feel like I am on a journey right now, and yes. I got a new Wild Goose. Yeah.
I normally don't give a crap about cosmetics or those kinds of unlocks. F-Zero, I care. There is something just so fun about seeing like your little partially unique racer out there in this giant field, and you can recognize it. Like, oh, there it is. Like, even in the opening cinematic, like you can tell who you are. And the fact that it's just so easily readable, and knowing that 98 other people are seeing it too, there's just something really charming about that. Even the pilot's license, you know, like when you have the little rivals, yes. For instance, you can see what pins they put on there and how they decide to design their cosmetic look. Love that. That's great. Oh, it's so...
Yeah. That's a big thing in a lot of fighting games. They have that, like your card. I always like that card. I hope in a future F-Zero game we even get like a racer that's like us, and we get to, you know, like you win the game, you like see the racer. Like I think that'd be really fun. But the one pilot, visual, the one visual element. Oh, and shout out to the menus, using that like old instruction manual art in a new way that looks really fresh and fun. Putting that like cartoony Captain Falcon in front of your face. Whenever you see that, it's just like, oh man.
Real quick, Jake, if they ever brought back the comic art style for Smash Brothers that they had back in the original, oh my god, sign me up. I love this you know, bringing back to life, or bringing back to limelight this classic, you know, style of art that was seemingly gone. I never thought we'd see it again, and here it is. You just
made my heart skip a beat, because I just, for the first time in my life, ever had the thought, Smash Brothers 99. I just had the thought.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
No,
Could you imagine?
That'd be crazy.
This is a whole nother video. I wanted to figure out what other properties could work in 99, but let's continue. I will say, actually, one of my small nitpicks with the game is there are effectively 3 meters you have to keep an eye on. You have your health, your spark meter, and then your spin meter now, because you've never had a cooldown before that you had in subsequent F-Zeros, which they retroactively added to this one, which is another great touch. But I wish there was a more obvious sign, at the least for the spin, that was available. Maybe your racer glows, or maybe the sound effect is more prominent or something. I found myself, you know, missing at times, like I had a spin available and I'm not using it, or I could have used it there. But again, minor complaint. I want to get back to real quick to the game feel, Jake, because you mentioned Mario Kart, and I want to say 2 things there. One, I'm a huge Mario Kart fan too. I love Mario Kart, but yesterday I went to do our weekly Mario Kart 8 Deluxe stream, you know, and I have a blast with Mario Kart 8. But F-Zero 99 just has a feel to it. It just feels so sharp, so on point that, you know, it just feels like I'm almost connected to the vehicle directly in game, and I love that about it. But also, something this game does better than I think Mario Kart in both a general sense and a specific sense is the catch-up mechanic. Because Mario Kart has, you know, rubber banding all over the place, you know, whether it's the AI or the items that, you know, will shoot you to the front of the pack, such as mushroom stars or bullet bills. And this game has what I would say is its own take on the bullet bill in the form of the Skyway, where you get enough spark and you take to the sky, and you take a faster path that can cut some corners and get you right back into the action. I love that. That is freaking genius, because it's not a press to win button. You still have to try. You have to earn the sparks to get it, but it works so well organically, because if you're in the front of the pack, you're not getting many sparks. If you're in the back, you're getting more sparks. So it builds up the meter, and you still need to know when to use it, because there's better times to use it than at others. And I just love just how much more organic and natural it feels than like Mario Kart solutions. And I hope that, not that Mario Kart needs to go as hardcore F-Zero, but I think there are lessons they could take from this game and apply it to Mario Kart to make that even better.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what I like about it too, as opposed to when compared to something like the bullet bill, like you said, is that, you know, you don't get to go to sleep. I don't know, like, I think something that's really compelling about this game is how easy it is to mess up. And I don't know if this has happened to you, but it happens to me all the time, where I'm just like starting a race, and like, for some reason, I just miss like that first arrow. And I feel like such an idiot. Yep. And I'm like, that first boost, and I'm like, man, because it's just a subtle thing. I just thought I was going to it, and I just ended up getting right on the side of it. I just went right by it. And like, I think something that's fun about these races is that even though you're competing along 98 other people, there's a degree to which I am always just trying to hit like my perfect run. It's like, yeah, I'm competing with them and they're affecting me and I'm reacting to them and that's all there. But so much of the game is about like, can I nail every single thing that I'm trying to do? Yep. And that's like a fun thing to chase. That's a fun, like, and when you're doing it, you know when you're doing it. And I feel like you're rewarded for it. And the rubber banding like element to it is, I think I've just decided I never want to feel that in video games, because I don't feel it here.
No.
And I feel like I'm all the better for it. Whereas like in something like Mario Kart, it like drives me insane. So it's, you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes I've played these F-Zero races where I've seen people jump ahead of the pack early on and they've managed to like stay there the whole race, and I tip my cap to them. I go, congratulations, you are the superior racer. I will move on. And that's good. That's good. I like seeing that. It lets me know that it's possible.
I do feel like Mario Kart has the issue where, you know, if you do get out in first, oftentimes, unless a blue shell comes your way, like, you just kind of keep increasing your lead because everyone else is slowed down by all the madness in the middle of the pack. Whereas I think F-Zero, again, F-Zero 99 specifically, again, helps resolve this, because if you are at the front of the pack, there are other hazards you have to deal with. You have more like gray cars, more red exploding cars coming your way. And then, of course, there's the fact that you're not getting the spark as well for the Skyway. So it's balanced in all these ways that just feel like they make sense and make it feel skill-based without being unfair, and like you can't compete even if you're not at the same skill level as someone else, which is arguably a problem F-Zero has had before, especially with X and GX in particular, where a lot of people complain that game's just too hard. Like, you know, if you're not good enough, you're not going to win. And somehow adding more racers and adding these new mechanics basically resolves that. And at least in my experience, now to be fully fair, I feel like I'm probably a little bit better than a lot of people, because I've played so many F-Zeros, and I've been, you know, and I have won a few first places already, but I've also died a whole lot too. And my point more is that no matter what my place is, I'm having fun. I'm having a blast.
Yeah, have you ever been the little buggy thing and messing with other
times, for sure, yeah.
I like doing that.
It's such a good idea.
There's something goofy about that, where I see those other people and I feel like I'm good at being the buggy, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get you, you know. I don't know, it's a good like little mini game in there.
It's another good balancing thing too, because if you're the buggy, you want to target first place again, you know, and try to ram into them. And it actually reminded me of the bomb car from Mario Kart 64. You remember that? Yeah, like one last chance to troll people. So I love that they incorporated that into the game. Again, like I am blown away by how well thought out everything is here. Like, I've enjoyed the other 99 games. I still really quite like Tetris 99. I have fun Mario 35, none of them approach F-Zero 99 with as making as much sense and feeling like its own self-contained, like, complete game. Like, this doesn't just feel like an NSO freebie, though it is. It feels like a game that had purpose and thought invested into it, and my hat's off to the developers at NST, who've made some great racing games before, because this might be the peak of them.
Yeah, and it dodges a lot of Nintendo things that I kind of expect to experience in online focused games. I will say that it is like a little annoying that, as far as I know, there's no way for like if I have a friend for us to race together. That's not in there.
That is a complaint. There absolutely should be, if not private lobbies, a way to party up together.
How do you feel about the timed Grand Prix mode?
Jake, I'm surprised. Yeah. I love it. For one, the whole main menu feels lively. Like it's constantly cycling through new things in the secondary mode. You always have the primary F-Zero mode, and you always have the little countdown. Like, hey, stay tuned. The next Grand Prix starting in 2.5 hours. It's usually only a few hours away. That is how you do it. Splatoon 2 with its salmon run is not how you do it. But here I love it. There's always things to do. You always know how long you have to wait. It's not far away. And it makes it feel like an event. It makes it feel like a big deal when you have the Grand Prix. It's like, hey, here's my, short window. Let me hop in, spend the tickets I've been earning, which make those feel meaningful. And then you actually care. You actually want to try. I feel like had the Grand Prix been available constantly, it lessens the stakes, Like, it feels like this is my one chance for a few hours. Let me make it count. And I love that. It makes it feel lively, makes it feel like it matters, and yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have no issue with it. I think sometimes making something timed is perfectly okay.
I even love how the little lobbies work, where you see all the racers fill in, and then you can actually even see people when they change their F-Zero car, like it actually rotates around. So all those little touches. And I have to say, Jake, actually shockingly, this might be Nintendo's best online experience. I don't know what kind of magic they're working here. It feels perfect. I don't feel like I've noticed any lag or that my actions didn't properly affect another, unlike in Mario Kart, which happens constantly. And it just feels seamless. And I can get into a race in like 30 seconds. And under 30 seconds, I'm back in the next race. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's... Honestly, it's so good that I have sometimes suspected if it was like faked or not. I'm like, I don't know about this. This is because it is flawless. You got 98 other racers on there. You're bumping up against them, doing all that stuff. There's nothing I can tell that's like, oh, it bumped me, but it didn't show it to me. Now I'm reacting to the bump, or I'm catching up to that thing. Like, I'm just playing the game, so I don't know.
No, 100%. I'm certain they're using dedicated servers for this. I don't have proof myself, but it seems pretty clear what they have for the other 99 games. I don't think they could do this without using dedicated servers.
For you, is there enough F-Zero here? Is it not just like 99 game, like with the F-Zero skin? Does it have that flavor that you like about F-Zero?
100%. This, to me, it feels like a proper F-Zero. I mean, albeit in a timeline in which the 16-bit version of it was the mainline series. But no, I mean, and not only that, like, it brings in elements from almost, from across the entire series, like the spins, the boosting mechanic, and then they, they layer that with the look of the original, and then they add in the new mechanics that the 99 elements bring. And this to me is, I literally asked for this on Twitter 3 years ago. I'm like, F-Zero 99, make it happen. So maybe that's when this started, Jake. So you're welcome, everyone. That one tweet's what did the trick. No, this for me, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I want the next, F-Zero GX permeation as much as anyone, whoever that ends up looking like. I am so happy with this, though. Like, I've seen some people who are still upset that this game exists. Like, it's a slap in the face to F-Zero fans. Or, we deserve better after, 20 years of neglect. It's like, for one, in a business sense, this might be the best case scenario for F-Zero, where you are reaching the biggest demographic possible, being Nintendo Switch Online subscribers for free. So this is the best exposure to the IP possible. But putting that aside, as one who is an F-Zero fan, I've loved almost the entire series, including playing GX, replaying it just a couple months ago. I love this. It doesn't need to look 3D. It doesn't need to have an epic story mode to be a great game. Because at the end of the day, with racing games, what I care about most is that online experience. I want to play racing games online with people from around the world. That's how I play Mario Kart. Mario Kart single player is dire. I only play that online or with friends locally. So the fact that this new F-Zero, for the first time in series history, is online with 98 other people, and it's so freaking fun. I honestly, I almost think this is the best case scenario imaginable, even as a fan at this point, until, you know, again, I say that, you know, hoping that there's more to come, and I think this is the best argument for it, that there could be more to come, and I want to see them build on what this game did for those sequels. Not necessarily always looking 16-bit, but taking ideas introduced here and building on them for, you know, a 3D sequel, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, I even hope in the meantime now, after doing this, I want to see, like, what is it, F-Zero X on N64? I hope that comes to NSO. Now I want to try that out. It looks cool.
Well, I mean, it is on NSO.
Right now?
It's right now. You can play it. You can technically, that was the first online game because you can play it online through NSO.
Wow,
so,
then I'm going to try it out.
So you should. Wow, it's a good game.
I don't know when that happened.
Very different handling,
yeah.
but I would be curious to hear your thoughts on it. But
okay.
yeah, I mean, again, I think this is basically the best case scenario right now for F-Zero, and I hope it leads to, you know, even bigger and better and different things. But for F-Zero 99, my personal hope is that those data mine modes do come. Its survival mode sounds freaking epic, especially given the fact that F-Zero X already had its own death race. What I also hope here, as also possibly suggested by the data mine, is that this is an opportunity that once they burn through the SNES tracks, which we know now they'll be done through with October, they'll all be in the game by then, they can look to the Japan-only release of F-Zero BS, I think, the Satellite View exclusive game, which had new tracks, new racers, and that could be a fun way of injecting more life into 99. And that's not even considering the possibility of bringing in tracks from the GBA games as well. There's 2 or 3 of those that they could pull in tracks from. They're all, you know, 2D and should mechanically work here, especially because those were built in mind with the boosting system. So there's no reason why they couldn't work. So I hope that this is an ongoing game. I hope they don't, you know, just wrap it up next month and keep it going as is. Though, I mean, I'd still be happy because it exists. I want them to keep adding stuff over time, keep giving people a reason to revisit F-Zero 99, really making this like the premier service on Switch Online. Like, it's free, Jake. Nintendo made what might be my game of the year available for free. I have not had more fun than anything this year than I am right now in F-Zero. And it's just a complete blast all the way through. I didn't even touch on it real quick. I just have to bring it up. Not too much to say. I even like the little starting area. How you have a giant like starting line. It's almost like a runway to the actual track. Genius. I love that too. So
yeah, even like I even like playing a stupid head game with myself where I'm like, no, it is more advantageous to go for the left arrow than it is the right arrow. That's the one I'm going for.
So Jake, I think it's time. This is a review, supposedly. We gotta give our review scores. What do you give this on the GX scale?
I think I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I think I liked it a lot.
From
because
someone.
Exactly. Completely new to the franchise, made an excellent impression. This is I paid exactly $0 for this game, and at $0, I'm incredibly happy with it. You know, yeah.
That's awesome. No, I'm so happy hearing that. I think, you know, I was initially, I liked it a lot the first day. After spending even more time with it, I'm full in love territory. I am obsessed with this game. It's so fun. I don't think this is actually might be the most fun I've ever had with an F-Zero game. It is that good. So, and it's a game that I feel like I never expected to exist. Like, I didn't expect a new F-Zero in the form of a 16-bit sequel with modern mechanics, with actual good online. Like, that's blowing my mind here.
Yeah.
So, and again, for effectively free with Switch Online. So, it's an amazing game. I love it. I'm so glad it exists, and I hope we see more. Everyone, thank you for watching our F-Zero 99 review. Let us know what you think of it in the comments below. Are we on point? Are we off point? I don't know. Let us know how you're liking it. Otherwise, stay tuned to GameXplain for probably more streams on this game, more videos. I'll be covering it for some time, and I don't know, maybe Jake will pick up a stream here every now and then too. So it'd be fun. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. We'll catch you later. Bye.